Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sailing SV Freestyle. Today we're going to attempt to clean the sailboat and have it go from looking like this to looking like this. Much better. I'm also going to go through the boat a lot and see if I can come up with any major problems. We get the mast up, we look inside and outside the boat, we look for potential issues, and I think I found some potential issues. I've definitely found some major issues, or a major issue, but yeah, come on, let's go check it all out. Yesterday I decided to try to get the mast up, and as you can see, I got it up. Everything seems to be rigged just fine. Everything matches up. All the lengths are correct. All the rigging looks good, in my not so expert opinion, but I mean, it's all nice and tight. So yeah, mast and everything looks like it's in good shape. Yeah, I just started cleaning up the boat here. I've been using this I found at the grocery store. Scrub free. It is a bathroom cleaner. I went through all the cleaners and I looked for the one with acid on it. I figured acid would kind of chew away at whatever that stuff was, and as you can see behind me, this whole top side here is coming out real good. And to get a comparison, what a difference this is making. So one thing I wanted to do while I was cleaning the deck of this boat was to see if the hatch was leaking. And I expected to come down here and find a massive puddle. And really all I found was, a few little drops. And I mean, while that's not perfect, it's not major. I mean, you can kind of see here where the gasketing stuff is coming out. So I mean, I think with just a quick, $5 roll of gasket weatherproofing tape, fix that right up and it'll be good as new, and this will be watertight. So one less headache right there. Perfect. Alright, so while I was going through the outside of the boat here, one of the big things I wanted to look at was the dagger board. And I didn't get any video footage of me checking out the dagger board, so I'll splice in some photos. But my main concern was, you could see down there was just a bunch of crap all built up around the edges of it, just like 15 years worth of dirt and sticks and leaves and just shit. So my big concern was that it wasn't going to move freely up and down. So the rope was all corroded that was attached to it, so I just removed that and I threaded some wire through the the block. And yeah, the thing, as expected, did not budge at all. So what I had to do was get the car jack out and I put it underneath and I jacked from the bottom up. And I was able to get the dagger board to come out the top with the car jack. And honestly, I was expecting it to be fiberglass. So when I got on the top of the boat and grabbed a hold of the top of the dagger board to pull it free,
I was kind of surprised when my fingers went right through it. Yep, it ended up being completely rotted out. It was made of wood, and it was just mush. Like I said, my fingers went right through it. It was garbage, and but slowly I was able to get it out so I could see what it was all about. Obviously, a big disappointment and going to be a costly replacement, but in the grand scheme of things, again, when you have a free boat, it's not the end of the world. So here you can see what is left of the dagger board. It's just all, look at, you can just put your hand right through it. Completely rotted out. And actually, I found out that they are weighted with these giant chunks of lead. So I'm hoping if and when I order a new one, I should say when, it's going to be weighted too. Only time will tell. But that's the condition that the dagger board was in when I pulled it out. Right, the second big issue, other than the dagger board, not nearly as big, but definitely an issue, is the previous owner, I don't know if you can see it here, installed this hatch. And he did it for a gas tank. And when he originally did it, he had a box that he made, like a wooden box that he made that fit in here, and it was sealed with regular marine caulking. But after sitting for 15 years, that wood rotted out, obviously, and that's how all the water got in the boat, because this compartment is not watertight. Water ends up getting back here and will flow down there, which brings it down here. So yeah, the compartment is on the port side over here. It makes its way through that compartment and down the back where I was just showing you, and ends up puddling right in these storage areas here. So that is the main way water is getting into the cabin of this boat, and that's how it filled up with water over 15 years. So I need to find a way to make this watertight, and I'm struggling between two options. The first is to keep the compartment and just make the compartment watertight by either building another box or fiberglassing, you know, the way it is currently, so water doesn't drain into the cabin. It somehow drains into the cockpit and then out the cockpit drain. Or the other option is to just seal it off and fiberglass over all the seams and holes. That would at least seal it and no water would get in there. So that would be the easiest option, is just to seal the hatch back shut. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be foam in there anyways. Throw the foam back in there, and then it's back to original McGregor style. Or do I want to keep the hatch and see as though the work is halfway done? I don't know. But anyways, that's the other issue I'm going to struggle with. Otherwise, every time it rains, water's going to keep getting back in there. The other issue I see with the boat is there's two through hull fittings here that are below the water line. The previous owner must have installed or had installed. The first is in the lazarette. There is that through hull fitting right there, which I originally thought was just a drain, and I thought that was weird because there's the plug for it right here. But in his little gift, his box of fittings and stuff, I found a transducer, a paddle wheel speedometer transducer, and then it clicked in my head that obviously that paddle wheel goes through there, and it sends a signal up to this gauge, but the gauge definitely doesn't look like it's functioning. So my dilemma there is, again, do I just seal it off because it's outdated and you can just get GPS readings for speedometers? You can actually get speedometer gauges that go by satellite GPS. So yeah, that's my struggle with that one. What do I do? Just seal it off, or keep the plug in, or will it leak the way it is? It seems to be holding water in easily enough. Will it hold water out? I don't know. The other through hull fitting that I'm kind of concerned about is down here. His water pump, which I'm almost 100% sure on most McGregor's usually just connects to a 5-gallon fresh water tank. For some reason, he has connecting to a through hull fitting so that raw water from the lake or ocean would come out of here. I'm assuming because when you're washing dishes, it maybe doesn't really matter what kind of water you're using, but if you wanted to fill up a glass with water and drink it, I mean, that's not the most ideal situation. So here's that fitting right here. As you can see, water coming from the pump into this long piece of PVC into that through hull, which is below the water line. The drain might be too, if I can get it to refocus. The drain is actually a little bit further up. It is this hose here goes to the drain, which is above the water line. So that's definitely the below the water line through hull, which goes right up to the pump. So raw water comes out that pump instead of fresh water. So now my dilemma with that one is I definitely want fresh water coming out of the freshwater pump. Do I glass up that through hull fitting, or do I take advantage of a through hull fitting that's already there and use it for something like the head? And the other thing is, does that current through hull fitting is that even watertight? I guess the only way to find out would be to throw the boat in the water and look for leaks. So do you have any suggestions? What should I do? Take the risk, glass over it, keep it the way it is, or use it, but use it for something else. So anyways, other than that, I mean, the boat is in great shape. The rest is just cleaning it up and all that crap. So basically, big issues we have are the dagger board. That's got to be replaced 100%. Then we got the hatch in the cockpit. That's got to get sealed up so it's watertight, because that's causing water to leak in the cabin. And then we got those two through hull fittings that I either got a fiberglass over just to seal them up or use them for something else. Beyond that, the mast and everything's in good shape. I do think he said there was a small tear of one of the sails, but it was small enough to repair with sail tape. So other than that, it's just all cleaning. And once this boat's all cleaned up on the inside, I mean, that's when I refer to as the fun stuff begins. That's when we can really start customizing things and making my boat my own boat. Alright guys, thanks for tuning into the second episode of Sailing SV Freestyle. Once again, if you like the videos, if you're interested enough and you want to hear the story, I'll keep making videos and bring you along for the whole journey of getting this beauty back into the water after sitting unloved for the last 15 years. Alright, thanks. Have a good one, guys.